So this was the match of the I guess the tournament. I think from my standpoint, I mean this is Kerry Miller's been a senior that has really paid the price in our program. He's been a kind of the poster child for our program the last couple of years. And he's wrestled an opponent that he had lost to three times previously, and was ranked top 15 in the country. And for Kerry to secure his second Southern Conference title, he had to beat someone that had kind of had the upper hand on him most of his career. And so obviously this was an exciting match, and Kerry just did a phenomenal job. And you can see again he's controlling the center of the mat, really controlling the hand fight, constantly moving forward, and trying to start setting the tone of this match early. And we knew that pace was going to be key here. We had to make sure. That's one of the things we talked about with Kerry was we had to make sure, and he gets a stall call right there, probably deservedly. He kind of backed out of bounds there and didn't circle in. So he got a stall call there early, which was not ideal, but it's it kind of forced him to kind of wrestle. But, one of the things we talked about going into this match, I mean, we knew that it had to be a hard pace. If he did not make it a hard pace and really wear on his opponent, we knew that played more into his opponent's favor. We talked about, all in the preparation that, to wrestle this opponent, that we really need to make it a hard pace so that guy was feeling it when we got late in the match and, possibly, really, had a chance to attack him. We wanted to make sure that at that point we had, our conditioning was definitely going to be a factor in this match, and so, typically in his previous match, you can see what his opponent's trying to do there, jack him up and just kind of lean on him and push him around the mat. And, Kerry did a good job of clearing that underhook and getting right back to his ties here, pulling on his opponent's head, which was really important in this match. And, kind of how it sets everything up for later in the match when we start wearing him down and, try to get to his legs. Doing a great job there. You see how he pulled on his head and snapping him down, really pulling on that head, really took a toll on him. Once again, his opponent, takes a shot. Kerry's ready. Great down block there. And obviously, did a great job of circling there and almost had a corner that he could get to his re-attack, And, even these exchanges right here were good, when his opponent was attacking, trying to get something going, and Kerry was constantly pulling on him and, not letting him get past his head and hands defense. This was great for Kerry because, that guy was expending a lot of energy, and we thought that would pay dividends later in the match. And you can see Kerry's really starting to control the tempo of the hand fight now, controlling the center of the mat, moving forward, and that was important. So in the first period, 0-0, we felt like that was probably going to be not a bad thing for us. We knew that it might take a while to wear him down, but we didn't want to put ourselves behind the 8 ball early. Carries up and out right away, which was good because he didn't waste a lot of time, on bottom and letting his opponent recover. So that was a big deal. Making sure that he didn't stay on underneath him and, let his opponent recover. And you can see here his opponent's taking a lot of shots from the outside, which, were kind of desperation shots. And I thought that was good. That was a good sign that maybe he was getting a little bit frustrated and maybe some shots of desperation, that were coming from a long ways away without really having a setup. Maybe he was starting to panic that score wasn't going to come as easy as it had in the previous matches. Again here, I think that right there is when Kerry got hit for stalling. I think he shoots, we head block, ref hits us for our second stall call, we given a stall point, and then we're right back on the guy's leg in a re-attack. And take him down, which makes the score now. I guess it makes it 3-1. And then this was, something that was kind of frustrating for me, watching it from the side is, this break in the action was not good. I was worried that this would give that opponent a chance to recover, which we were hoping, the way the momentum was going to kind of keep the match rolling. We did not want to see the break in the action, and I'm not sure. I think they might have challenged the takedown. I don't remember exactly what happened there, why there was a break in the action, but it was obviously a takedown. And, at the time I'm over on the side, trying to really get them encouraged to get this match going again. Like I did not want to have a big long break, which I thought was only going to be advantage for his opponent and not Carey because his conditioning's so good.
Going against the guy with that kind of height advantage, whether it's setting up your shots or just what are some of the important things for a guy of Carey's kind of physique and frame when you're going up against a guy that big?
I think the biggest thing is not letting him. I think I mentioned it earlier. Is one of the things that had happened in the previous matches is his opponent would kind of lean on him, would kind of hang on Carey, whether it be in a collar tie or an underhook, and just kind of lean on him. And he obviously had a height and a weight advantage on Carey. And so in the previous matches, he would just lean on Carey for the biggest portion of the match, and that took a lot out of Carey. And so in other words, being able to just clear those ties and not let his opponent hang on him was extremely important. And so the score now is 3-1. We gave up a stall call, got an escape and a takedown, so now it's 3-1. We were hoping that Carey could ride him here, but knew that was going to be a long shot because there was a minute left in the period. So now it's 3-2, which now with that stall call, it changes the whole match. Even though Carey, I feel like, has done most of the work, he has 2 stall calls now, and so he can't afford another stall call. And now we're going to have to get another takedown because his opponent's likely to go down in the third period and get an escape. So obviously the game plan here is to continue looking to score. Like we're going to have to score more than one takedown.
You mentioned the aggression. Just given some of the prior results, where do you think the confidence came for Carey that he took into this match?
Well, I think, it's kind of a culmination of, a lot of different things. Obviously we've talked about the mental side of things and training his mental game and just believing in himself. We always knew he had the ability to beat this opponent. And I think, finally he just kind of cut loose and just kind of with blind faith believed that he could get it done. And, we tried to simplify it as well, like tried to not make it, any bigger than it needed to be, and just understand that, in this match, there was a certain strategy. We needed to control the center. We needed to control the ties. We needed to make it a brutal pace. And then once he did that, opportunities were going to come late in the match to score. And I think that's exactly what happens here. And so it's 3-3, third period here. Again, if you can notice, we're controlling the center of the mat. I was hoping for a stall call at this point on our opponent because we had dominated the center of this mat, pretty much the whole time. I mean, you look at it. I mean, he took a couple of desperation attempts, but then as soon as he shot, he retreated and then kind of started backing up again. So we were hoping for, I was thinking we might get a stall call, but it seemed like every time we were getting close to possibly getting one, he would kind of take one of those half-hearted attempts and then retreat, which kind of, got the refs off his back for a second. But again, Carey's still doing a good job there. Inside left hand, control on the collar tie, pulling on his opponent, which was really important. Again, moving forward, wearing on his opponent, not letting him lean on him. And Carey's, strength is tremendous. I mean, he's really, physically got a lot of tools that he's really worked himself into being one of the strongest heavyweights, probably pound for pound nationally. And I think that really paid off. The conditioning, all the work he'd put in, was really important. And right here again, and missed an opportunity there for a reattack, got to the leg, but just never really got the corner turn. Thought we were going to have a good chance there of scoring. But then here the third period's winding down, 3-3. And I felt like at this point, even though we had to get another takedown, I felt pretty confident in the fact that the match was going late. And I felt like, his opponent was starting to kind of wear down a little bit, and so I felt this was a good opportunity for us. So now we're in overtime, first takedown wins, Again, controlling the center of the mat. He takes that shot. Carey goes behind him. I felt like we should have probably had two there before he came up, but he does a good job keeping his toes in there in the cylinder, securing the takedown. Um, and I think this went to a video review. And I felt like even if it got overturned, which I felt like it was definitely a takedown, but if it got overturned at this point, I feel good that, Carey has really started, winning the battle. And, I felt like even if this goes back to the center of the mat and they remove this takedown, I feel like there's a good chance Carey gets a takedown anyway. So, just can't say enough great things about Carey. And I think that's just a product of the amount of work he's put in and just buying into the system and, staying the course, very similar to what we talked about with DiMaggio. I mean, he stayed the course and, probably, with him not being able to compete at the end, which was really unfortunate because I felt like he had a great chance of being an All-American this year. But since he didn't get the opportunity to, compete at the NCAA championships, ending his career with a win like this in the SoCon finals as a senior was pretty special, and it makes for a phenomenal career. And then right there, he scared half the stands when he went over and flexed at the stands. But, he's just been an important part of our program and just so happy for him. And, like I say, once again, he'll go down in history. I think he's on our top 10 wins list now. And, seeing him, get that win in the SoCon finals over an opponent that had been a nemesis for him for a long time was pretty special. And, given that that's the way his career had to end, it was a good way to go out.
Yeah, I figured that atmosphere had to be for crowd noise and team support be up there for something that you've seen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was phenomenal. I mean, that was probably it's some pretty excited matches here in the SoCon finals this year, and especially being at our place. But just I felt like our guys really wrestled well. Did a great job. So I was proud of them.